Hello, friends. Hello, world. I'm Elizabeth, and you've reached my brand new channel, The Reading Reseller. I was going to get in front of the camera today, but I went to bed last night feeling very overwhelmed. And so I decided to try a different strategy today for getting my work done, which I will share with you in this video. But first, let me give you a quick report on how I did yesterday. So I mentioned in my yesterday's video that I did not get my listings completed and scheduled the previous day. The two listings that I was working on are these two items right here. So this one mainly because I needed to do a little bit more research about it. I had taken photos of both items, but I just wasn't ready to list this yet. So I just drafted them and, left it at that. So yesterday, I still wasn't quite ready to list this one, but I did go ahead and get the Red Trailer Mystery listed. That's an old Trixie Belden book. It's actually book 2 in the series. It's pretty banged up, but the pages are still in tight. It's very readable, and I thought, there may still be someone who would like to have that book. So I got that listed and I scrounged around and I found these two old sewing books. I actually acquired them recently, so they were near the top of the stack. And I went ahead and listed those, still leaving this one in my draft bank last night. So I decided, though, as I was going to bed, that I really needed to make some changes because I still piddled around, messed around, and waited until the end of the day, end of the night, really, to get my listings done. Time then when church was over, I didn't came home and that's when I got my listings done. But it was still too late in the day for me to be doing that. And I've got to stop. I've got to make myself get my have tos done before the, anything else that I want to do. I just have to do my have tos first. So that's why I'm filming this later today, because I got up today and I did do my reading because that's my habit, and I don't want to change that because I know that in order to get any reading done, I can't wait till nighttime or I'll just fall asleep. But I thought, okay, I'm going to get a few of my morning chores done and then I'm going to do my listings. So instead of working on the sorting of the romance books, I decided to pick a smaller category of books that I had already out, and it also is an author that I collect. So I went through my own collection and I kind of decluttered that. I looked at the books I had recently acquired, compared them to the ones that I had, and I was able to weed out some and start listing the books in that collection, which is a smaller it's a smaller bite, but I can get several listings out of that set of books, which I'll show you tomorrow. I've already listed 2 and scheduled them today, and I have already photographed 2 more and drafted those. So that's what that's what I'll use tomorrow for my scheduled listings. Jump in here because as I was going over in my head what I said in the video, as I was beginning to upload the segments to edit them together, I realized that I was talking about decluttering and weeding out and picking out books to list out of my own collection. That was today. This is supposed to be my report of yesterday. So what I did yesterday was technically not decluttering, but I did take one of these boxes of romance books. These are not sorted yet, but a bunch of these had stickers on them. So last night while I was listening to an audiobook after church, I think after I had gotten my listings done, then I sat down with this box of books and I cleaned the stickers off. So that's what I'm going to have to count as my project. Even though it's technically not decluttering, it's working my way towards being able to lot these up and sell them, which then counts as decluttering. So, phew, I feel so much better. Who cares if this video is late? I can't do a video if I don't get my work done. So it's more important to get my work done. And now I can spend what's left of the day working on sorting and doing, the other things that I need to get done. And going forward, I want to stay ahead. Knowing that I work tomorrow at my bookstore job, I'm really glad that I've already gotten two things photographed. Oh, and by the way, that's the other thing I've decided to do. I said at the beginning of this challenge that I would do one thing, one listing in January, two in February. Well, I have been launching one listing since starting this challenge. I've been launching one listing a day now for several months. But when I started this challenge 8 days ago, I went ahead and started creating two listings and I scheduled one ahead. So now, once I got to where I was scheduling for February, I went ahead and started scheduling two. So at this point, I am 4 days ahead. But now that it's the 1st of February, technically, I thought I would bump it up one more so that I would be creating three listings and launching two. But I'm not there yet. I'm going to give myself one more week to create two listings and launch two listings so that I'm going to stay only 4 days ahead for the next few days, just to give myself a little more sorting time, because I know that I will run out of things to list too quickly. Now, I don't mean that literally. I'm never going to run out of things to list, but I will run out of things that I'm ready to list. That's how I should say it. So anyway, that is my report for today. All right, the book or book series that I want to recommend to you today, since I've been on the subject of devotionals, I'm going to do one more inspirational biblical recommendation before I move on to some fiction books. But I want to recommend this series to you, not only because they're fantastic to read, they are also BOLOs. Definitely be on the lookout for these Through the Bible transcripts by Les Feldick. Also, there are accompanying DVDs, but you do not need to have the DVDs to have the books. They can sell individually or together, and the resale value on these is way more than I would have ever dreamed. I had never heard anything about these books or DVDs or this pastor who happens to be from Oklahoma, where I grew up. Um, I had never heard anything about him until a few years ago. Someone gave me one of these books. I think it was number 23. And it sat around my house for a couple of years. And finally, I thought I should just read that. And I was blown away by how great it was. And I thought, oh, wow, I need to find more of these books. So last year, I was at one of our quarterly library book sales, and I spotted a box that had some of these spines. And I thought, oh, Lord, please let that be some more Les Feldick books. And it was. I got about 20 of them at that sale. And the great thing about our library book sales at my local library, the price is fill a bag for $1. So I got them home and I started going through them, and I was really excited that I had most of the books from 1 through 12. Now it is an 80 something book series. I can't even remember, something like 85 or 87 books. And so I had 1 through 12 with a couple missing, and then a few others, I think, from the 20s or 40s, maybe 30s or 40s, and then some from the 60s. And I don't mean from the 1960s. I mean, like book 60. So I started going through, putting them in order, and I had from 1 to 12, I was missing 8 and 11. And I had two copies of book 10. So when I finally got around to listing book 10, it sold immediately. But before I did that, I started searching, and I noticed on eBay that someone had a copy of book 11. They were asking $15 for it, and I made them an offer of 12. Now, if they had been a seller who had a lot more of these, they probably would not have been willing to go that low, because I am telling you, these go for upwards of $20 a piece, and lots of them can go into the hundreds. And when I was doing my initial search of these books on eBay to see about, how expensive it would be to fill in my blanks, I found a listing of the entire set of 85, 87 books, how many ever there are, with their accompanying DVDs, that had sold a few months back for over $1,000. I think it was something like $1,086 or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to find some more of these books. So definitely be on the lookout. Now, if you find some, read them first, and then, of course, sell them if you want, because they're fantastic to read. I'm gonna have a hard time giving them up because I've been enjoying reading them so much. I just finished book 6 and now I'm reading book 7. Since I still don't have a copy of book 8, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and buy it somewhere unless I am able to find another super affordable windfall like I did at my library. Oh, so then at the sale when I first found the books, I did not see any DVDs, but I didn't really look for them. So the next time I went back, we have our sales quarterly. I looked for more books, and just out of curiosity, I started looking through the media that was there. And I found a stack of the DVDs. I don't know if they correspond exactly with the books that I have, but I found a whole stack of them, and she was just giving away the CDs. So I was like, yay! These definitely all have a really good resale value on eBay. So be on the lookout for Through the Bible with Les Feldick. And you really don't have to read them in order, but when you start at one and go through, he does a very organized detailed study of the Bible, starting in Genesis, but he also will cross reference things and show you how the Bible all fits together wonderfully, both the Old Testament and the New Testament. And it's just a fantastic series. I am loving it. I have been reading out of one of these books now every morning, and I'm really, really enjoying this series. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.